Today, Trump announced his plan to deport migrant criminals and make America safe again.
In honor of Jocelyn, Nungari, Laken Riley, beautiful Laken, Rachel, Morin, and all of the others that are dead and or mortally wounded at the hands of migrants who should never have been allowed into our country, I'm announcing today that upon taking office, we will have an Operation Aurora at the federal level. To expedite the removals of these savage gangs.
Trump will be invoking the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Yeah, an authority that allows the president to detain and deport foreign nationals who've invaded the country without a hearing. This is what it'll look like.
We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country. And if they come back into our country, they will be told it is an automatic 10-year sentence in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer.
So that right there is a real solution to one of America's biggest problems. What's Kamala doing? She's pandering to Hispanics with a new accent.
What would your administration do differently in the case of Milton?
Well, first of all, thank you for the question, and I hope your family is okay and your home is okay.
Yes, they are, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, what about the border? Hispanic Americans want a secure border, just like every American. And they know Joe and Kamala haven't delivered.
What would you do differently from what's been done in the Biden administration to make sure that the border is secure and orderly?
I was the top law enforcement officer of the biggest state in this country, California, that is also a border state. I have taken on transnational criminal organizations. I have taken on transnational criminal organizations that traffic in guns, drugs, and human beings, and I've prosecuted them. So I will put my record up against anyone in terms of the work I have always done and will always do to ensure we have a secure border.
She didn't answer the question because she already answered it Tuesday. She wouldn't do anything different than Joe. Kamala doesn't have a plan. Her plan is Joe's plan, which is open sesame. She's just got the same tired talking points, and the audience is noticing. Look at how one audience member rolls her eyes and says word for word what Kamala says, almost like she's heard it all before.
Unlike my opponent, who got handed $400 million on a silver tray and filed for bankruptcy 6 times.
Kamala's axe wearing thin. Kamala Harris's lead with Latinos is shrinking. And now all the money Democrats invested in getting souls to the polls and ballot harvesting may be backfiring. Get this. Wisconsin Democrats are very worried about Kamala Harris's vote margins in Milwaukee. The thinking is that their get-out-to-vote efforts might be inadvertently boosting Trump votes among Black and Latino men. You heard that. Democrats are worried they're going to be harvesting all of these Black and brown ballots, and they're just going to be votes for Trump. American Majority founder Ned Ryun is here. So this border policy is starting to get a little teeth. We're starting to see what it looks like. He's going to be invoking acts from the 18th century. We'll see how that plays out. But there is something that you can grab onto there. There is a big effort to uproot these criminal gangs and say sayonara.
Well, I think the gangs are a starting point, Jesse, and then you got to go to the 13,000 or 15,000 known murderers. And then you got to go to the hundreds of thousands of illegals with criminal records. And then you keep going. Jesse, the reason that they have had the open borders, that they have intentionally and in a systematic way, 10, 12, maybe even more million illegals have come in since the Biden administration started, they're importing new voters. Any Republican with just even a couple brain cells should go, we should deport all of them, if for nothing else, self-preservation, so we don't become a single-party state. But the fact that Donald Trump is actually framing this out and putting some teeth to it is a very good starting point. But he shouldn't stop with the violent criminals, and he shouldn't stop with the criminal records. He should keep right on going.
They're going to do what they did to California throughout the whole country. California used
100%.
to be a red state. I mean, Reagan was governor. Nixon won it. I mean, that used to be a red state. Now look at it. It's a supermajority situation. You'll never get that back. And if they can do that to Texas, what they did to California, the Republicans will never see the White House ever again.
If I was an unethical leftist, and I feel like I'm repeating myself when I say that, whose only moral guiding light is political power, I would be putting illegal immigrants into 6 or 7 key battleground states, Jesse, and trying to get 20, 30, 40,000 of them onto the voter rolls. And if that happens, Jesse, and you lose 6 or 7 key battleground states, you'll never get the White House back. And then at that point, single party rule, they'll just keep importing 10, 12 million every 4 years. That's it.
Yeah, and they're doing that in Virginia. Youngkin is cleaning up the voter rolls, getting rid of the illegals.
They're suing him.
And they're suing him. And we're going to have that story on Monday. But if you're all kosher with the law and you don't think illegals should vote, why are you suing a state that's knocking them off the rolls?
The thing that's interesting to me, Jesse, is it's about 6,000 that Glenn Youngkin and the state of Virginia, where I'm at, have removed from the voter rolls. Why are you going and suing Youngkin within 30 days of the elections over 6,000 non-citizens removed from the voter rolls? First of all, non-citizens. Second of all, are you really concerned that Virginia is going to be that close? I think the DOJ, their acts today really showed a few things. I think they're getting nervous about Virginia, and it's also clear that they fully intend to get non-citizens and keep non-citizens on voter rolls to get political power.
Yeah. Well, we just hope we don't see any Black Panthers with billy clubs like we saw in Philly. Can't do that again. All right. Ned, thank you so much as always. Have a great weekend and behave yourself.
Thanks, Jesse.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.